We start this hour with an announcement. This morning, ESPN named Shay Cornett as the new host of First Take. Shay will make her official debut on Monday, November 3rd. Shay has done it all at ESPN, from anchoring SportsCenter to extensive radio work and hosting First Take and Get Up time to time. She's a pro's pro, and we are absolutely thrilled to have her join the First Take family full time. Just wanted to make sure I said that. All right, time to get back to some football. The Chiefs have turned things around after their slow start to the season, especially on offense. In their first 3 games, they averaged just 20 points. Since then, they're scoring over 30 points per game. And now Patrick Mahomes will be getting more help with Rashee Rice returning from his suspension. Since 2023, Mahomes has a better QBR, higher completion percentage, and more yards per attempt targeting Rice than all other receivers. Are the Chiefs the team to beat in the National Football League? RC, Dan, quiet down, because the queen has arrived. The one and only Mina Kimes is in the house. What's going on, Mina? You can answer that question. Are the Chiefs the team to beat in the NFL? What's going on?
Yeah, they are, Stephen A. They're the best team yet again, same as it ever was. And you hit it. It really starts with the offense. This is statistically a top 5 offense in the NFL now, despite the fact that they had a slow start to the season. But once again, they are on top. The quarterback is playing the best of any quarterback in football, once again. And they're doing all of this despite the fact that they don't even have their number 1 wide receiver yet. Rashee Rice returns this week. And for those who forgot, in the second half of his rookie season, he led all receivers league-wide in yards after the catch. So you're taking an offense that is already a top 5 unit, and then you're adding a number 1 receiver on top of that. I do have some small concerns about the pass rush, or not small, but legitimate concerns. But I have been encouraged as of late by the play of this young secondary, which, surprise, surprise, Steve Spagnuolo has done it again in coaching those guys up. This is, once again, the number 1 team. They are not perfect, but no perfect team exists in the NFL right now. It's a very flawed league, and I think their offense, to me, puts them on top.
Go ahead, Dan.
I'm not putting the Chiefs.
Hold on. Did I hear a pregnant pause? Do I need to go to RC? Were you not ready for my question?
I was actually looking at RC.
Okay, all right. Well, hurry up. I mean, let's get it together now. Let's get it together.
No, I'm looking at his body language,
right.
so we're not talking over.
Right.
I'm not putting the Chiefs over Detroit. I'm not putting the Chiefs over Seattle.
What?
I'm not putting the Chiefs over Tampa Bay. When Tampa Bay's, they just beat Detroit. Detroit had a terrible officiating calling it off, and had 4 of their starters on defense out. Okay, I'm not putting them. When Detroit is healthy, they're the best team in football. Seattle, I'm telling everybody, Seattle is as good as anybody in ball. And then Tampa Bay's 5-1 with me playing wide receiver at some points. Tampa Bay is going to be the rare team that gets healthier as this season goes along. And so while Kansas City's playing fantastic, they're no question one of the best. But I'm not just going to sit here and say they're the team to beat and everyone's going to go, well, they have Patrick.
Who's the quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks?
Sam Darnold. It's the most explosive pass game in the NFL right now.
Weren't they pretty good last year when he was in Minnesota and they were 14-2 and they were throwing water on his head?
That's how you get yourself in trouble, and I'm so excited for it.
And then you sat on national television acting like they had won something.
Yeah.
And I said, yo, they haven't won anything yet. And then they nosedived the last game of the regular season with a division title on the line.
Yeah.
And then after that got trounced in the playoffs. That same Sam Darnold?
That same Sam Darnold.
RC, go ahead. Go ahead, RC. Go ahead. I just thought I pointed it out. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I agree with Mina. And I've sort of been on this the entire season. When they were 0-2, I was still saying, hey, man, they don't have Xavier Worthy, and you have to wait until Rashee Rice returns. And then we started to see Tyquan Thornton evolve. And then now Hollywood Brown has become a huge part of this offense as Xavier Worthy returned. We saw Travis Kelce not necessarily be old Travis Kelce, but be a Travis Kelce who in one-on-one matchups can go out there and win. And we have gotten desensitized to watching Patrick Mahomes play. We have a level of expectation of him that if the numbers don't feel a certain way or look a certain way, we don't recognize how well he is playing. He has put this team on his back like a Toomey backpack. since the first week of this season. And he said, I'm going to do every single thing I need to do to make us competitive. Every single thing I need to do to help us win. And Steve Spagnuolo, who at the beginning of the season, there was communication issues. There was issues when they blitzed and being able to match up on the back end. Now starting to use some of those young pieces that has helped Trent McDuffie move around and be utilized wherever you want him each and every week. And you watch the game, and you see guys like Bolton and Tranquil and Chanel just absolutely ball week to week. This is the team to beat, and this is why. Because you don't get to say, Dan, that, oh, they have Patrick Mahomes and just poo-poo it. Because it's Patrick Mahomes. And at some point, people are going to stand across from him and remember, this is a team that's been to 7 straight AFC championships.
All right, Mina, I'm going to let you respond to that first. I know Dan wants to get in here, but he might get in the way of you talking, Mina, and I can't allow that to happen. Go ahead.
I'm thrilled, first of all, because I thought we would all come up here and agree about the Chiefs, so I'm glad Dan actually gave us a hoop to dunk on with this. I'm going to address specifically what you said about Detroit and the injuries explaining that victory. Dan, I know you watched that game very closely, and I know you know that the starters who were missing were not the primary reason why the Chiefs moved the ball on Detroit so easily. They targeted the linebackers relentlessly in that game. Relentlessly. Ryan, you remember this as well. Those are the starters for Detroit. If these two teams were to play again, they would roll back with the exact same game plan. And watching the game, Chiefs didn't win because of calls. Come on. The Chiefs won because the offense simply out-executed them drive after drive after drive. This offense is relentless. And yes, they are getting their best receiver back. It's crazy to me that you're writing off that win and suggesting that Detroit is a better football team based on what we saw that night.
No, and what I don't want is for people and Chiefs fans to sit here and go, Dan Orlovsky's saying the Chiefs are bad. They're awesome. I completely agree. I feel like Patrick's played at an MVP level. But Mina, while you can sit there and say they attacked the linebackers, 3 touchdowns are scored on 3rd down in the red zone, beating man coverage concepts. So we can't sit here and rave about the impact that DJ Reed has had on the defense and how good that Terrion Arnold has been at times with his coverage, and then pretend like
who's doing that?
But he's been physical. Like that has mattered. That has mattered for their defense, that reroutes as good as anybody. We can't sit here and say that while also pretend that 3 third down touchdowns in the red zone against man coverage aren't impactful. I'm not saying that Detroit is this 20-point favorite over Kansas City, but to sit here and say that Detroit isn't just as good as Kansas City is not accurate. To sit here and say that Seattle, and you could talk about Sam Darnold all you want, it's the #1 explosive pass game in the NFL. He's as good as any quarterback wide receiver duo going in the NFL. It's one of the best defenses in the NFL. It's one of the best defensive lines in the NFL. Dallas can't stop a nosebleed. DeMarcus Lawrence looks like he's 22 years old playing on that defense right now. And they got a Defensive Player of the Year candidate in Leonard Williams. And you know that, Mina. And Tampa Bay is 5-1 with the most offensive line combinations going in the NFL and more targets than people at wide receiver than anybody in the NFL. Usually that spells losses. It has spelled wins.